and I'm actually speaking to each of you sitting around this table, is your name listed as a stakeholder of any of the redevelopment plans regarding a smart city? I can tell you Department of Planning, DLNR, DBED, Housing, all of these agencies, and I'm not saying to you directly, but you're here representing these agencies, therefore, it is your responsibility to tell the truth. Each one of these agencies have signed on as stakeholders for the redevelopment of a smart city in Maui.
What's happening right now, it epitomizes plantation disaster capitalism, because here we have a handful of incredibly privileged, large landed interests using this terrible tragedy to displace and to push through laws that they were unable to secure when Hawaii State Water Code was in place.
You've raised the issue of the governor wasting no time in issuing emergency proclamations as the wildfires continue to burn. Yes. Can you talk about why this is significant?
So to provide some context, in Hawaii, we have a public trust doctrine, which means that our water resources are managed for present and future generations and cannot be owned by any individual, which of course was predictably opposed by industry interests and development interests, but they were unsuccessful. And in June 2022, additional permit protections were put into place, and many folks, Native Hawaiians who have superior rights, but whose rights have been ignored, were able to come forward and begin a permitting process. Unfortunately, those existing water use permit applications were due on Monday, August 7th, and the fire ravaged Lahaina on Tuesday, August 8th. And then on Wednesday, August 9th, the governor's office issued these emergency proclamations, which suspended the water code. What they were unable to accomplish legally, they were able to accomplish with the support of the governor and the emergency proclamations. We can't just throw out all of the laws and other things that help to protect our resources when disaster strikes.
We got you for the no front license plate, $70
yes, sir.
Fine.
Yep.
127A0029 is rules and ordinance. Parking along the Hokiokio during an emergency. This is the proclamation. Pick up the 127 Alpha 0029.
That's for the proclamation?
Yes.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Court date 10/16/8:30. What courtroom is that? You'll find out at the courthouse.
So can I just send the ticket in and pay for it?
You can pay for that, but this one requires you to be in person.
Oh, that one, for pulling over here.
Yep.
My name and badge number?
My badge is right here,
1370. And what's yours?
You already got the insurance line, so he's going to explain this ticket to you. If you want to sign or you don't want to sign, he's going to give you a copy.
Okay, I'll sign. Sure, okay.
Did you know that there are 2 sites in the U.S. that have these directed energy weapons? One is Nevada and the other is Maui. Let's start with this directed energy Air Force Maui optical and supercomputing AMOS site located on the island of Maui. May I quote from the website? Listen to this. Directed energy harnesses the power of the electromagnetic spectrum to enable airmen to effectively and affordably strike critical targets at the speed of light. Question: why Maui? Answer: it's a new smart grid in Hawaii dubbed the, quote, Jump Smart Maui Project.
Alexa, what happened 5 days ago between the United States Marine Corps and FEMA in Maui?
From DanicBigyaloy.com. As reported Saturday, Marines caught FEMA operatives piling corpses into a mass gravesite at the Maui Forest Reserve.
People who survived the Lahaina fires were the ones that ran down the barricades and ignored the cops. They did not comply with what they were told to do, and they lived. There's a lesson in there somewhere.
Wow, you gotta see this video. Now I realize that this guy is senile, but he's also corrupt. Watch this video, and then I got something for you.
Last week I appointed Bob Fenton, one of the nation's leading emergency managers, and I mean that's not hyperbole. who's been on the ground in Hawaii since before the fires erupted as our Chief Federal Response Coordinator to lead our long-term recovery on Maui, who's been on the ground in Hawaii since before the fires erupted.
They're not even hiding it anymore, directly out of his own mouth. Are you kidding me? So now let's say we have a proclamation, emergency proclamation, which gives unlimited powers to the state government 3 weeks prior to the fires, directed by the one and only, the guy that needs to be impeached, Josh Green. And now we have our own president saying that he sent over this guy before the fire. What's it going to take? Who's going to wake up? Who's going to realize that there's something very bad going on? And the question is, we need to put together a plan, a big plan. But this, they're not even hiding it anymore. It's crazy.
I shot a drone video over the whole area so that you could have pictures of your home and you could share it with your insurance company. I drove my GoPro on my motorcycle so you could have images of that area for your insurance claims and also for a future litigation, because now you can't get in there. Now it's a war zone. Now it's like checkpoints and Checkpoint Charlie and guards and FBI and ATF and Army. These people have not been able to go back to their homes to get the contents of their safe. And I've heard rumors about who is rummaging through that. Again, I'm not here to spread rumors, but I'm just telling you, to not allow homeowners to go into and get their stuff is weird. To not allow press to go in there to get their stuff doesn't make sense. To not allow citizens like me to pull over on the side of the road and take pictures and videos from afar of what's going on. I can't fly my drone over there and watch the hillside for future strikes causing fires, or looking down and seeing what FEMA's doing. To block everybody out is against our constitutional rights.
There seems to be a huge emphasis on ensuring that the media and anyone else can't see what's going on here in Lahaina, West Maui. There are miles and miles of this black fence going up that was not here before, that is obscuring ground zero and making sure no one can see what's going on inside of there from the road. No one can get in there. No one can take any pictures. And then I've also seen these weird foreign police cars showing up, these special police, I'm not sure what to call them. This is a Nissan, but there's quite a large presence of these standing guard around the perimeter. We've also lost our ability to fly drones really anywhere near this area. Now, this 20-second clip here that I tried to get out of my car and show what was going on, I was almost immediately, after these 20 seconds, National Guard came, chased me off, yelled at me, told me to get back in my car and keep moving. So you cannot pull over, you can't even stop your car anywhere near any of this anymore.
Allison Blair asked Green what changes he plans to make in his first 100 days in office.
Green says if necessary, he'll use emergency powers to adjust some of the processes that are obstructing the ability to build housing.
So I think over the course of the first essentially 2 years, we are going to do everything that we can to distribute land to the people that are on the list, to build infrastructure and build housing, and also actually put people in housing where it's possible. We're contemplating a climate czar,
which would be a new position created by the administration.
Green has declared a housing emergency. The proclamation is designed to push through Hawaii's regulatory red tape, but some groups are alarmed.
Governor Josh Green touted Hawaii's sustainability accomplishments at the United Nations Economic and Social Council in New York City. Green pointed out that Hawaii is in a unique position as an island state and has tried to lead the way in promoting renewable energy.
We tried to lead on energy and climate. We were the first state to mandate 100% renewable energy for electricity. So
Speakers were invited to help implement the United Nations Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals in 2030.
We've started to reduce CO2 emissions and are helping Hawaii work toward its goal of obtaining 40% of its electric power generation from renewable energy sources by 2030.
So this is our Monday report from after the showtime. Numbers keep changing, so it's useless to tell you those other than one that we're pretty sure of. 2,700 buildings is sort of the new number people are circling around. 80% or so of those are homes, not businesses. So we've got that. The problem is that only 3% of those 2,700 structures have been checked so far. And that's why there's so many people missing. We have no idea how many. We don't have a cause yet, although they're looking at the power lines, obviously. We are closer to knowing why there was no warning, why the sirens didn't go off, why the phones didn't go off. It was so fast. How fast? Well, they've mapped it. That thing was advancing a mile a minute, 60 miles per hour. That's amazing. Just think about that. Your car could barely outrun that. And we wonder why there was no warning. So we'll continue to figure out what's going on. And once again, we urge you, if you're looking for something to do right now, volunteer with the Red Cross. And you can volunteer here on Oahu, not necessarily on Maui or anywhere else, but yeah, right here, or money. The Red Cross.
Hello everyone, my name is Jacob. I'm a former resident of Lahaina. We currently lost everything in the fire. I do appreciate everything that everyone has done, including the governor, the mayor's office. Thank you very much, everyone. Fortunately for me, I do work here in the hospitality industry. Our company has been great. They've been able to open up their rooms to us employees first and foremost. They're dedicated to taking care of us, our local community, the outreach from the community. Thank you, everyone. Please, thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. We've gotten tons of support from all of you. We really appreciate everything you're doing for us here. My family, we're able to make it here. I have accounted for everybody, especially in this time of need. My children, they're all good. We do have a special needs child, muscle dystrophy along with Down syndrome, but due to the outreach and all the help and support we've been getting from clinics, from his therapy session, clinics, all that, he's doing just fine. We're just so grateful for everything everyone has done, and please continue to support, and we really appreciate everyone and everything you're doing. Mahalo and God bless. Thank you.
The fact that people are still going to visit Hawaii, even though Native Hawaiians are requesting desperately that people stop coming, tells us that colonizers will always colonize. There are so many tourists that people who live on the island are being told to restrict their water use. There's so many cars that people are parking them and blocking highways. The mayor of Maui has even requested airlines stop bringing people to the islands. And before you say, tourism helps the islands, no, it doesn't. It creates a dependence on the upper class, who is all of the tourists. Trust me, there are hundreds of other things that local communities would rather be doing than serving entitled outsiders. We don't have to theorize whether colonization would happen in present day, because it is happening in present day and we're witnessing it now. We cannot let the past be repeated.
So for the last few days, Maui, Hawaii, a U.S. city and state full of U.S. citizens, has been experiencing some of our nation's most deadly wildfires in our history. The death toll's over 100, most of them being children. There's still over 1,000 people missing. There's been over $7 billion in damage. What is our government's response? A one-time $700 voucher if your house burned down in Maui. Great, thank you. Meanwhile, our president is on vacation, ironically, at the beach. When asked if he has a comment about Maui, no comment, no concern, no care. Okay, our military base, a huge Navy base right next door, no help. Okay, meanwhile, we've sent a $100+ billion to Ukraine. And as of today, our government is asking Congress to send an additional $25 billion to Ukraine, not Maui, to Ukraine, of your hard-earned money, your tax dollars. And no other country is sending their tax dollars to help U.S. citizens, to help people on Maui. Understand that our government absolutely and unapologetically hates you.
Over 2,700 structures were destroyed in Lahaina, Maui, valued at approximately $5.6 billion. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden, with $115 billion sent to Ukraine, offers just $1.9 billion, which is $700 per household, to Lahaina. And this is deeply insulting And you guys voted for Joe Biden. I don't understand why you voted for him. And on the other hand, they hate Putin. And Putin knows how to look after his own people in Russia, while Joe Biden likes to send everybody's US tax dollars money to other countries. Guys, this is absolutely disgusting.
There are growing questions over the emergency response. I spoke with a number of survivors who say they never received a single evacuation order, even when this fire started. They never got a text message. In fact, they tell me by the time firefighters did arrive in the town of Lahaina, much of it was already destroyed.
We kind of just figured it out on our own. I realized when it was time to go, when the smoke was so dark, we could not see anything outside.
I received nothing at no point in time. I got nothing on my phone. It was a decision that I made in the morning with my employees, and we saw the wind and just thought it was not going to be safe driving on the road, so we decided to leave.
This narrative that the media is lying about the reality of the Lahaina fire is incredibly frustrating for me because I am the media. I am the editor of Maui Times, and I have tried relentlessly to get direct information from the County of Maui as well as the Maui Police Department. Both entities have been radio silent and have not responded to any of my calls or emails over the past few days. I also spoke to Maui police officers in person in Lahaina, and they all denied me my First Amendment right to freedom of the press by denying me access to Lahaina town as well as denying me information. They even sent me on a wild goose chase trying to find their media coordinator who had conveniently gone home for the day by the time I found where he was supposed to be. So it is not the media who is lying to you because I am obligated to only report what has been confirmed. Who's lying to you is the government entities who are trying to cover their asses and not take accountability for how grossly mismanaged this entire situation has been. Maybe if we make this go viral, I'll actually get a response from them.
These guys are heroes right here. Incredible. Regular citizens making a difference while we sit right at the fire department, police, and county, and they do nothing. The truth needs to be told. These guys are the heroes.
The scenes left behind from the fire's rampage are literally apocalyptic in nature. All that's left behind is a vast wasteland of devastation that looks akin to something one would see in areas ravaged by war and weaponry. Thus far, nearly 100 lives have been lost, making it the single deadliest fire in
Fight for what you believe in, or we will all be gone. Da 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 da.
Did space laser beams cause wildfires in Hawaii? No. People have been falsely claiming that the wildfires in Hawaii weren't a natural disaster and that they were caused by space laser beams and direct energy weapons. These videos have got millions of views, including on TikTok. This one video got 11 million views, and it claims to show a large explosion in Maui just before the fires. The original video was actually shared in May, and it shows a transformer explosion in Chile caused by a strong wind. No laser beams, no direct energy weapons. We don't know what caused the wildfires in Hawaii, but we do know that the abnormally dry weather conditions and the hurricane winds played a huge role.
This is the only place in Northwest Maui that we seem to have any cell phone reception. I'm told that we're high enough here to get to a tower on Molokai.
They tell you the water is rising when they own beachfront homes. They scream global warming when they're flying in private jets. They tell you save the environment when they're using child labor to dig up cobalt. Because you're much easier to control when your life depends on electricity.
If you think for 1 second that these wildfires that are happening in Maui are just natural disasters, then you're about to be in for a rude awakening. How is it possible that we have cars literally melted into the ground, yet trees are still intact? I'll tell you how this is possible right now. It's called direct energy weapons. Check this video out. Now, I know that was quick, but they're doing their best to scrub these videos from the internet. People caught this on camera, them hitting Maui with high-power lasers. If you truly believe the mainstream narrative, you have no idea how far you are from the truth. And here's the after. Look at this. There's still green on the trees, yet houses are incinerated. It does not make sense. Do you guys know about the Weather Modification Act signed in 1976? When you hear climate change, it's these people that are causing climate change. You think it's just a coincidence that these properties were highly sought after by major corporations to turn them into 15-minute smart cities? How is it the military is denying people from bringing in supplies and trying to help? Do you think it's just a coincidence that the governor passed a bill about a month ago that can take away the land of the people if they need to rezone? Seems like certainly convenient measures to rezone, eh? These fires have the exact same similarities to the fires in California. Everything absolutely incinerated, but trees still standing. Now, I know it's extremely tough for people to use their own common sense and critical thinking, but all you gotta do is research Agenda 2030, research direct energy weapons, research weather control and the hundreds of patents they have on it, and you'll see the truth. Wake up, people.
These fires. I'm joined now by
Listen to this.
Born and raised in Lahaina, and has been working tirelessly over the past few days to raise money and resources for those who lost their homes. I wanted to bring her on the broadcast tonight because I want to give our viewers across America a sense of what people are dealing with on this island.
You're not going to believe this.
We were approaching you. You have. I want to ask you because I couldn't believe this. Realtors, people in the real estate industry, are calling your family and your friends who have lost everything to buy their plots of land.
It is disgusting. We have real estate investors and speculators going around calling our victims, offering to give them cash and buy their property. It is disgusting. It's a land grab, and I know that our Lahaina community, we are resilient, and we will do whatever it takes to protect Lahaina.
Unbelievable. Now they're going to try to buy the land out from under these people and displace them. What's wrong with these people in the world?
One of the big concerns as they search for the missing and the dead is that Lahaina doesn't lose its spirit, right? That people from the outside don't come and rebuild and turn it into a tourist mecca.
We've already been displaced enough, and we plan to have a seat at the table in rebuilding Lahaina and ensuring that the rich cultural history of Lahaina is protected and that the multi-generational families get to come back home.
Good. Hold your ground. Y'all hold your ground.
For viewers.
Again, Lahaina's not for sale. Keep Lahaina lands in Lahaina hands.
You go, girl.
Night because I was getting phone calls from people who lost their home, and they were getting phone calls from realtors that were asking if they wanted to sell their property. And shame on you for calling families during the most difficult, devastating times of their life and trying to land grab Lahaina. Lahaina is not for sale. I repeat, Lahaina is not for sale.
Governor Green called the event fire hurricanes, and he sent, and I'm quoting, a warning to the entire planet about this. Watch.
Everything is burnt to the ground in Lahaina. Here's a little picture. I mean, it's completely destroyed. It's a war zone. That's what a fire hurricane is going to look in the era of global warming, which is obviously very real for us here and everywhere.
So he cited the very dry conditions. He cited the city's water management issues and the hurricane, right? Critics say Green used global warming as the scapegoat here.
Anyone else find this weird? So the Maui fire started on August 8th. Yet there's a book about it already. Even in the description of the book chronicles the events from August 8th to August 11th of 2023, the Maui fires. But the publication of the book was August 10th. So how did you chronicle the events of August 11th when the book was published on August 10th? Do we need to read the book to find out what the ending of these Maui fires are?
Guys, the wind is wild.
What? Oh my God, if that's what's happening at our house.
I'm so scared. I'm so scared.
So, we went into the house and there's ash everywhere, like all over everything.
the floor, every surface. We are really, really hoping that we get to clean up the ash and that it's not worse. And we're still in wait and see mode at this point.
Is around maintaining the Aina that has been devastated and ensuring that that stays with local people.
Yes, so I appreciate that. That's very important to us. So I've actually reached out to our Attorney General to explore options to do a moratorium on any sales of properties that have been damaged or destroyed. Moreover, I would caution people that it's going to be a very long time before any growth or housing can be built. And so you will be pretty poorly informed if you try to steal land from our people and then build here. In discussions last night amongst colleagues of mine, people I trust, we're hopeful to create a memorial for the people in the state of Hawaii in this site.
Hey guys, I wanted to give you an update on the fires out here and how you can support. So many friends and family have been affected by this. It's a lot worse in Maui than the news is sharing.
Still get dead bodies in the water floating and on the seawall. They've been sitting there since last night. We've been pulling people out since last night, trying to save people's lives. And I feel like we're not getting the help we need.
There's no cell service or people able to find each other. We are okay here at Home Sweet Treehouse. Thank you so much for all of your messages. There were some really gnarly fires that broke out on this island as well. Really just wanted to come on here and use my platform as a place to spread awareness on how you can support from afar. You know, traveling to Maui right now for non-essential travel is just not a good thing to do. So please go check out the link in my bio. Donate if you can, support if you can, send prayers if you can. And thank you so much for your love. But right now, Maui really needs your love and your support. So stay strong, everyone.
We have multiple fires that are going on the island of Maui right now in Hawaii. And of course, one of the things that has really contributed to those fires is the strong wind. Now, we have a hurricane that is not actually hitting Hawaii. It's actually pretty well to the south, but the wind that is creating is still playing into this. Let me explain. So, when it comes to wind, really what causes wind at its core is a difference in pressure. So if you have strong low pressure somewhat close to an area of strong high pressure, which we happen to have a fairly strong high that's just north of Hawaii right now, whatever's caught in between, that's the area where you're going to be experiencing the most wind. So the wind has been pretty strong, even though Hawaii is not getting directly hit by Hurricane Dora. It's definitely been enough to really fan those flames and make the fires pretty hard to get under control.
Hawaii is closed. Go home. Hawaii is closed. Go home.
Same waters that our people just died in 3 days ago are the same waters the very next day these visitors, tourists were swimming in. And that says a lot about where their heart and mind is through all of this and where our heart and mind is. You don't see our people swimming, snorkeling, surfing. Nobody is having fun in tragedy and continuing their lives like nothing has happened. There is two Hawaiis right now. There is the Hawaii we're living in and the Hawaii they're living in, they're visiting in.
Aloha, how's it? My name is Bikiala Pua Freitas, and I live here in Waihe'e on Maui, but I posted a video a few hours ago about a tour company that was hosting a tour with tourists in the water right off the coast of Lahaina. And the owner of the company just gave me a call and, you know, told me that I posted it unknowingly, not knowing the situation, and how he posted to social media about all the profits were gonna go towards the Lahaina